Watching on social media, hit the share button. Let me know what you got going on today. I got AJ with Hippie Fertilizing in studio. We're going to have some fun. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy. It's at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and I'm excited because I got my friend AJ with Hippie Fertilizing in studio. He always brings gifts. He always brings all the good stuff. He brought some Hippie Juice. He brought some breakfast. There's a lot of stuff going on in studio. We got our brand new intern, Braden, hanging out with us as well. So we're going to have some fun. If you have any questions, again, let me know what you got going on as well. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. We're going to be talking about Hippie Fertilizing. I got some Hippie Juice right here, and I'm excited to talk about Hippie Juice. I always imagine it's somebody's first time tuning into KHEA, or they haven't had the chance to meet you yet, AJ, and they hear about Hippie Juice. We got a bottle right here in studio. What do we have right here?
So it's a very simple, safe, yet powerful biostimulant blend. All right? It's got sugars to stimulate those microbes. It has minerals. It helps chelate nutrients. It works really, really good on garden vegetables, flower beds, and most especially your lawn, right?
Yes.
Going to help green things up a little bit. Really, what I've noticed the most with Hippie Juice, though, is it really helps flowers to pop.
Okay.
The sugars in it, like flowers love bacteria and stuff, right? Well, all your plants do, good bacteria. And that's the most feedback I get on the Hippie Juice. I get other feedback as well, like, of course, it helped the lawn do something. If you put it down with another organic fertilizer, it's going to further stimulate what's happening, especially like, of course, my favorites are Microlife with the biological inoculants. It's going to further stimulate and speed up those biological inoculants in a Microlife. But the most positive feedback I get on it, honestly, is when people use it on their flowers. It could be potted plants, it could be in the flower bed. And you don't need really a whole lot of it, especially in potted plants. Whatever the recommendations are for flower beds, lawns, what have you, stuff in the soil, if it's not in the soil, like if it's in a pot, take it back like a half or a third or a quarter of any product you use if they're having a label that's basically like for in the ground.
Yeah, the thing that stuck out to me, and there was a lot of things that you said, great information pertaining to Hippie Juice right here in studio. The thing that stuck out was it will work on vegetable gardens.
Yeah.
So it's safe. You can sprinkle it right over the top of it. How do you use it? Because you told me before, but what do I do with this?
There's different ways. That's a great question. For a lawn or flower beds around your trees, the best way is a hose end sprayer, right? Something like a chameleon, a Chapin, something like that. About 6 to 8 ounces. Fill the rest of the way up with water so that you get a good diluted solution so it goes through the sprayer. But say if you're using it in those potted plants, right, you could put it in anything like a cup, a pitcher, and mix it up with like a gallon of water and just go, put a little bit in all your potted plants.
My kids enjoy doing that. My wife has some potted plants in the front and the back, and some that get too big, and then she puts them in the ground, right? Mm-hmm. But my kid, that's like their favorite thing to do is to get a water, I guess like a water can.
Yeah.
And they just go out there and just water the plant. So this is something they could do, and it'd be safe for them as well.
Oh, absolutely. I have a video on YouTube where I drink it in my coffee. No joke. I don't want to drink it right now.
Can we do it now? Can we try
it? Sure. Let me. No. I have something to wash it down with.
No, my hope is to put this in my yard.
No. Well, you can.
Okay.
Right? It's disgusting.
Are you going to drink a little bit?
Let's see.
Let me switch this camera. Ooh, look at the colors. It's popping. So we got some Hippie Juice.
All right.
In studio.
I don't recommend this at home, all right? But when I say I believe in what I do and that safety is first,
yes,
that's what I say.
Okay. Taking a little swig of Hippie Juice.
Yeah.
It's thick.
I've taken big old shots of apple cider vinegar, so
yeah.
That's a little funky too.
Oh, okay.
Bet you can't believe I just did it, huh?
No, I can't.
Yeah. Chelate some nutrients, man.
I kind of want to try some now. You said you don't recommend it.
At your own risk, okay?
Okay.
I'm
going to start growing flowers.
All right. It's like, man, your skin looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like those antioxidant powers.
Yeah, drink at your own risk. Your skin may be a little too radiant.
Now, seriously, Okay, again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just a dude who loves soil and wants to make a positive impact on the environment in the best way that I can and know how. But I can tell you from personal experience that I've taken humic acid before.
Yeah.
And you can look up humic fulvic acid and see what it does to the body. It helps like detoxify stuff, chelate minerals, does all kinds of cool stuff. Now, horticultural grade and human grade are processed different, so don't be thinking you can get online and go buy a bunch of, like flower bed humic acid stuff and just chug it down. Don't do that, okay? There is actually stuff that is specifically for the body. But what I've done with the stuff that I have is I've had like poison ivy, right? Or I've had some workers that look like they got hit up by a beehive, man. Like, AJ, I don't know if I can work. I'm itchy. And I'm like, ooh, that's not cool, right? And so I take a little bit of my humic acid mixture and like put it on their arm. And they're like, no, I don't want that on me. Okay. 5 minutes later, they're like, wow, it doesn't itch right there.
That's awesome.
No joke. And even like look up humic acid for what it does for your skin. Like if your dog has skin allergies and stuff, if you get that human grade humic acid, man, you give them like a little humic acid bath and it'll really help chill out their skin big time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where can somebody get this? If somebody's thirsty, if somebody wants to treat their garden, their potted plants, make their flowers pop a little bit more than the next house over, where can somebody get a bottle of this Hippie Juice?
You can get it at hippiefertilizing.com. There's a tab that says buy here. It will be on that page.
Okay. It's easy.
Yeah, super easy, and I do ship it out everywhere. So if you're not in the direct local area, don't worry. You buy it, I ship it.
It'll go there.
It'll go there.
What's the furthest you've had the opportunity? I know like you focus local and you do services, but do you ever get some stuff out of state or other places?
Oh, absolutely. I've sold a few bottles in Florida. I know that may be the furthest place. I don't know. It's definitely
that's cool.
It's definitely been in other states though. So yeah, that's really cool. It's been in like 20 other states.
Yeah, from when you've started, years ago, and kind of how you got into the industry to being able to ship to other cities, other states, servicing. What does that mean to you as a business owner, or how has that felt, I guess, getting to this point in your career?
So to me, it's not even necessarily as a business owner, right? It's just as like my purpose and passion. That means that what I'm trying to do in my message, in my information, is getting out there further, right? So that is awesome. Getting people on the other side of town, like Kingwood, the Woodlands, calling, hey, what should I do? You're getting people in other states. I got people in New York right now messaging me sometimes on my YouTube channel, like, hey, what do I do with my grass? And that's kind of a booger because, we don't have New York grass and we don't have New York weather, but soil biology is soil biology. So in some sense, I can still help lead them in the right direction. And I get feedback, too, that the Hippie Juice helped, or like the MicroLife products, because one of my buddies, Jason, and my other buddy, Emil, they own a company called Friendswood Mercantile. And so they help make it available on Amazon. And so because of them on Amazon, it's been to more states than ever. And now, just so y'all know, people, okay, if you're up, like, I know this is the Galveston-based radio station, but my buddy, who has really been a huge inspiration in coming up with the Hippie Juice and even the Super Soil Conditioner, which we'll talk about soon.
I'm going to have to write that down. Super Soil Conditioner.
That's right, baby. That's right. Jason has been a huge part of, like, inspiring me to move along with the kind of product process and even shipping, because at first I was like, I don't know nothing about it. What do I do, right? I was totally foreign to, like, as simple as it sounds, going to USPS and, like, here, package this up, ship it off. I'm like, what do I do? Yeah. And I figured it out. So, like I said, if you buy it, I'll ship it. We got this. And so now, I got a little sidetracked. He is just now starting a business up there that's healthy soil or organics.
He's in Friendswood?
He's in Friendswood, but the shop is going to be in Houston.
Okay.
Because MicroLife does not sell directly to the public. They only sell to professionals. And so he's going to be right next door selling to the public.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And he will have some Hippie Juice there, and he will have some Super Soil Conditioner there. And we're also in the works of working on some other things, some craft blends, right? Because I want the most powerful stuff on the market.
Yes.
I want your lawn to dominate, but I want it to be natural all the
natural.
time.
Right.
All the time.
It's good for the environment.
Absolutely.
Is it a good time to talk about the Super Soil Conditioner? And I want to ask what the difference between a conditioner is versus a fertilizer. And actually, I think I just put it together. So it's a soil conditioner, and usually you have like a grass fertilizer. So you're treating and conditioning the soil as opposed to just trying to pump stuff on your grass.
Correct. Essentially, I like to put it like it's the difference between an energy drink, right? Which we like. We like those around here, okay? We're guilty. But or a probiotic smoothie. You know, immediately and long term, which one's going to be better for you? Which one's going to be better for your health in a week and in a month?
Right.
You know, you don't hear about people going into cardiac arrest because they went to Jamba Juice.
True, yeah.
Okay. But they're like, oh, this person, you know, drank such and such energy drink and they're 19 years old and went into cardiac arrest on the football field. Not cool.
Yeah,
well,
they drank too much celery.
Yeah,
too much celery juice.
right.
It did them in, right?
Man, that cucumber really took them out.
Yeah.
I love cucumber smoothies, by the way. They're dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a huge part of the difference, right? It's the difference of feeding and helping support and improve what actually feeds the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feed the plants directly. Feed the soil. So, like, in my business, I get asked the question a lot, like, do you treat the trees and the flower beds and then this and that? And is there a different treatment? I'm like, no, not really. Sometimes there is. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely steps you can take if you have certain issues to give things a boost when needed. But overall, on a regular, like, say, maintenance program, I don't need to do anything different because I'm feeding the soil that everything lives in. So the whole like, oh, they have a tree and shrub treatment. I'm like, I have a soil treatment.
Yeah.
Guess where all those plants live?
Right in the soil.
Right. And so what Super Soil Conditioner is taking quite a few things that I've learned that I love over the years. And instead of telling you, hey, Mr. Johnson, you need to go buy X, Y, Z, and B and put them together like this and put it all out. Well, guess what? I just put it together.
You made it easy.
Yeah, and we're in Houston, Texas, right? We're in especially for us in Galveston, Texas. We're in a warmer climate most of the year. So the idea that you need spring, summer, fall, all those different fertilizers, I'm not a fan. You know, because if you do the homework and you find out what's really in the bag, it ain't enough to make me excited, that's for sure. So I wanted to put together something that makes it easy. What do I use to feed my lawn? Super Soil Conditioner. When do I use it? All the time. Do I need to change? Not much. I mean, there's definitely going to be some things you can do here and there to help improve results or get different things. But for the most part, I want something that's easy. Like if you're dehydrated, what do you drink?
I'm drinking water or Gatorade.
But mostly
water,
right?
Yes.
Keep it easy.
Pedialyte. Yeah, the water would be the easiest one.
Let's keep it simple. What do you drink in the morning? Should be water. What do you drink at night? It should be water. You can drink water anytime. Yeah.
So one thing about the other bags that you can buy from the big box store, from other places, there's all these things, and we've talked about this before, like don't handle with your hands, keep out of this. You can burn your grass if you put too much on. If you don't put enough on, it may not do anything. So with the Super Soil Fertilizer, is it even able to, are you able to use too much, or is it safe to use with your hands or
So I'm glad you asked that. And my answer to those kind of questions is with any product out there, you can use too much, right? I've tested this out with MicroLife Ultimate, dumped a whole bag in one spot. Honestly, it stank terribly, so I will never do that again for that reason.
Yeah.
But also, that particular patch died. Everything around it turned friggin' amazing and green. And now that particular patch looks amazing, a year later. But yes, that area died. And also, who wants to waste their money?
Not
right?
me. You're right.
So if you're going to buy a product, use it properly. Get the very most bang for your buck. If you put a little bit extra here and there, or what happens a lot, all right, is people will use product XYZ from the big box store and go through with their fertilizer spreader, and then the sides of their homes, because it's usually very narrow with the fence and the house, all right, those sides will tend to die first occasionally because you're walking through with that spreader and it's bouncing off the house and the fence, so you're getting a double application right there. Now, when I do it with my stuff, they're like, man, why does the side of my house look amazing already? And I'm like, yeah, because I gave it double the good stuff on accident.
Yeah.
You know, but you do it with the wrong product, death occurs.
And it'll kill it.
Yeah. And so, you know, I wouldn't encourage anybody to buy a bag of anything that I recommend and just put it down all in one spot necessarily. You at least want to, you know, have a minimum of 1,000 square feet. Now, the super soil conditioner, it's going to be recommended at like 25 pounds per 1,000 square feet if you have a really rough lawn that needs like a healthy boost, right? But typically, I want people to use it at like 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Get the most bang for your buck. It's going to be something recommended to use like once every 2 to 3 months.
Okay. That's awesome. Here's a comment I wanted to read. This is from Lenore Lee Walker. She said, love that Hippie Juice. Looking forward to this month's fertilization process by AJ.
Thank you, Lenore. Oh, her lawn. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to throw it out there. And we have proof to back this up. And she's posted many pictures on my Facebook page throughout the beginning of this year. Like, that was a perfect testament of overdoing it with the wrong stuff, right? She said, I'm trying to kill the weeds. You know, I put this down and that down. The lawn was toast, right? It's like half the lawns I get. And, man, just through supporting soil biology and putting down natural stuff, her lawn has went back like it's 200% better. And check this out. Here's the best part. There's drastically less weeds. Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Lenore, for commenting. And, man, I know we both love the progress that we've seen on your house. It's incredible.
So how would that happen naturally, just like the weeds? They just become less?
So, you know, when you support soil biology, one of the things you're doing as well is improving soil structure, right? You put down all the bad stuff, you're killing off soil biology, you're ruining soil structure. I like to call it, you're doing kind of what's a chemical compaction. And weeds have tougher roots, right? They're a little more aggressive in hard spots. So the more you try and kill off everything, weeds generally come back first, right? And the more you improve it, you're making a better, let's say, like you're making a nicer bed for that grass to spread out and be happy. And you're encouraging proper root growth. You're balancing out nutrients and fungi and bacteria, because when, you know, you're going just one like treat and defeat and kill direction, you're killing off all the good stuff that's going to like really encourage what you want.
Yes. So I saw a video that was shared by you from the Hippie Fertilizing Facebook page of our good friend Dr. Aaron Chapa.
Yeah.
Putting some work in at the house. What did he have?
So he had another blend that I've been playing with, all right? And we did one application on his lawn earlier this year. And we both agree, because I talked to him that same night that he sent me that video. He's like, dude, just one application of what we did, the lawn's turned around drastically. And so I gave him some really good stuff. I don't really want to talk about all of what's in there. Got to start keeping my secrets, you know?
Right.
But it's a very balanced soil food, soil conditioner, biologically inoculated to help add good bacteria and fungi and just help, you know, give the grass what it wants. And here's something that's kind of funny about grass. It's kind of like a cannibal, right? Grass likes to feed off of other grass foods. Like alfalfa meal and stuff.
Okay.
It's a grass.
Yeah.
But alfalfa meal fertilizer is amazing, and it adds lots of micronutrients that, like, knots is not going to have.
Mm-hmm.
You
Wow,
know?
that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Talking about Choppa, one thing he likes to do is use his own body, what he would maybe call like a science experiment, experimenting on himself. Like, let me try these different supplements to treat this, or this I don't know, different blend to do that. But you kind of do the exact same thing with the soil. Trying and testing the different blends and seeing what works best. It's interesting.
Well, and I'm sure it could be similar with his work, because it gets kind of challenging, right? I can't just do everything to one lawn, because you got to take like a year and sometimes 2 years to see how stuff really plays out. So if I just throw some different stuff on it month after month after month, then, I'm like, what worked? I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I've been a lot more methodical about this process in the last year and a half. And doing that, because I used to just kind of throw everything at everything, honestly. And luckily, because I believed in the same process and the same stuff then, I still had really great success.
Yeah.
But now I've put a lot more thought and energy on okay, let me try this by itself. Let me have some, you could say more controlled variables, right? Because that's the scientific process.
Mm-hmm.
You want some controlled variables, and you want, your stuff to be consistent. Well, having done that in this last, say, year and a half, I'm starting to see what works okay and what works great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I had something else about Choppa, and then my mind went blank for a second, but I'll take this time to say it's 9:25. It's KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM, talking to AJ with Hippie Fertilizing about all things organic lawn care, making sure it's safe to touch with your hands, and making sure that it's going to be good for your pets, your animals, and everybody else.
Yeah. And remember, nobody knows grass like a hippie, okay? Sorry, I get a little stuck there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and remember what I was going with. I know I was talking about Choppa. I was talking about how, I know. So if somebody does a lot of the wrong things to their yard because they don't know any better, they think it's the right things. There's a lot of good marketing out there. There's bags of other stuff. They've been putting that in for years. Let's say they've lived at a house for 5 to 10 years, and they've been treating with the wrong things, doing nasty stuff to the soil. Your grass ends up dying. You do too much or whatever. Oh. You're trying to undo that process. You've been doing that, that process for years. It's going to take a while as well to, I guess, turn the soil back around. Just like if you were putting the wrong things in your body and doing damage to your body, then you start putting the right things in as well, right?
You're exactly right. And so certain times of the year, spring, summer, it can be really good to make a lawn look good on the surface. All right, but here's what I've noticed as well over the last couple years. We go through extreme weather patterns, and those lawns that had went through a ton of herbicide damage, or way over chemically fertilized, right? So they're burned and have tons of salt in the soil. What I notice is they get expressed at different times of the year. So again, I can make a lawn look beautiful in spring and summer, and I'm going to keep feeding it the same way throughout the wintertime. But then I have customers who are like, oh, my lawn went back to this. And I'm like, well, the weather changed. So all of those problems that you had in the soil, they're expressing themselves again. It doesn't mean change up the game. It just means it's getting a moment of stress. So the problems that it had are showing themselves again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay. So you were talking about the seasons just now. The past couple weeks, it's been a lot of rain.
Oh,
so,
dude.
So what does that mean? There's a couple things that you've told me in the past, and I started having my grass cut higher because it's been high. Hey, it started raining a lot. I'm turning my sprinklers off. I'm making sure I'm not over-watering it.
He listens.
Yes, I try to, and I try and take notes. So yesterday, I was looking at the weather, and it looks like it's not going to be rain in the forecast as of right now this week. So I put my sprinklers back on because it's been saturated with water the past couple weeks. And what's going on right now with the weather?
And not only that, it's been much cooler with all this rain and overcast, right? We're getting averages of in the mid-70s on some days.
Which is good for the grass, right?
It's good for soil temperatures too. Yes. So it's keeping the soil temperatures at this maximum growth temperature, right? Good for microbes and fungi, all that good stuff. But here's the deal. Yesterday, it was 95 degrees with a real feel of 101. Let me tell you, going from 75 to 101. You go walk out and take a 2-hour walk and tell me how you feel from Wednesday to yesterday, right? It's a drastic difference, ain't it?
Right.
Well, your lawn's dealing with the same thing, and it can't, like, go inside, you know?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, after a few days of these heavy rains, turn the water back on. Even though it rained for a week. I know, people. I know. Now, if your lawn is one of those ones that has deep puddling and stuff like that, then, of course, let it dry out, right? But if your lawn isn't one of those ones that has some deep puddling, turn that irrigation back on.
So that's what they should be doing right now.
Yeah.
Make sure you rewater and get back in the
Now,
routine
it's
of that.
been, I think today will be maybe the third day if it doesn't rain. So today, tomorrow, make sure your irrigation goes back on a regular cycle. Don't water it more. Don't water it less. Just go back onto your regular cycle.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I also saw, I guess that it's supposed to be hanging out in those low 90s, for the rest of the week. Sometimes
Low
like partly,
90s. That's cute.
partly cloudy, sometimes sunshine. I'm sure it's gonna feel like it's 100 degrees outside. But
so that's something to pay attention to as we look at the temperatures and what it says, but also look at the real feel. And I don't know, I wish I understood the difference between when they say, oh, it's 95 degrees, but it feels like 110. Like, then why don't you just say it's 110? It's miserable because I can tell the difference between when it's 85 outside, 75, and 95. And I'm telling you what, each one is like a drastic difference.
And while we're talking about that, they'll say like an entire city. Like in Galveston, it's going to be 92 degrees. It's like, I'm sure in some parts it's going to be a little bit hotter. My friend...
Or cooler.
That's true, yeah. My friend Danny Staley works at, I think it's Moondog Farms over in Santa Fe. And he was showing me, they have like an actual thing that they set up. It'll tell you the exact temperature of the farm, which I thought was
awesome.
Yeah, and people could probably do that for their... I'm sure you could do it for your soil, test the temperature and all that.
So what I see sometimes is in some customers' lawns, they have the temperature gauges up on the fence.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's excellent. And it's an excellent point because you have macro and microclimates, just like you have a macro and micro ecosystem. Your lawn is a super micro ecosystem. Houston or Galveston would be the macro ecosystem. Your lawn is will have a microclimate, and a difference between 3 to 5 to 7 degrees can be drastic. You go out to these brand new homes with these little baby trees, it's way hotter in those neighborhoods versus going through like Clear Lake and Friendswood or more developed areas. I love working in the older neighborhoods in the middle of summer.
Shade.
Right. Underneath the tree in the middle of summertime, it's 20 degrees less.
Yeah.
That's big. So 100-degree day, I get to work in the 80s, right? Go work in I love you guys, okay, but Marbella, the Hidden Lakes.
Yeah.
It's 100 degrees plus that real feel of 10 degrees.
Hey, that Marbella swimming pool, the neighborhood pool is pretty nice, though. I'd be like, is that driving by the neighborhood, people going to the house? Is that AJ's in the pool? What's he doing going down the water slide?
Y'all, I'm trying to just cool off this anger.
Just trying to make it.
Yeah.
It's my lunch, eating a sandwich, going down the slide. I used to live in Marbella. Marbella has a really nice, a community area, and there's some pretty good people that are out there, too.
They're awesome. Super awesome. Man, of course, I can't think of the name of his business right now because you mentioned that Texas Gun Vault sold the party thing, right?
Yeah.
Earlier. And
I know Buster lived there, and he started a mosquito buster
yes,
business. Is that what it is?
We actually just talked on Facebook yesterday because we've known each other, for a few years. He's known me before Hippie Fertilizing.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Like him and our buddy Todd.
I wish I knew you before Hippie Fertilizing.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows? But fortunately, some of those people, they still talk to me, so I couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Buster has mosquito stuff. He says he does it all naturally. Some of our friends that we know together say they've had their lawn treated and it all smells garlicky. So I'm like, yes, so what is it? Mosquito Busters?
Yeah, Mosquito Buster,
yeah,
I believe is what it is.
And he's local in Leak City, so if you're looking for a mosquito dude who's trying to do it naturally that would support the Hippie Fertilizing vibe, hit up Mosquito Busters, dudes.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've had Buster on in studio. It has to have been 2 or 3 years. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy. And that I just saw actually Todd. I think is the person who I saw that shared that out.
Yeah, my buddy Todd. So they've known me since I used to mow their lawns, right?
Yeah.
And Todd is a great person. He's a customer of mine, and he has a bounce house business.
Yes.
So
that's, I think Todd got that business from Anthony.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
But they changed the name.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it has something to do. I'm gonna look it up.
It's like Texas bounce house. Man, Todd, I'm so sorry. You can kick me in the shins later.
Jordan Porty's watching, and Jordan, you should let us know. Todd Carson, what's the name of the bounce house business? Let us know this. We need to know these things.
What's up, Jordan? E.T. Lockouts, my man.
Shout out to E.T. Lockouts. Here's the mosquito buster.
He helped me out with a key a couple months ago.
What happened? You lost your key?
No, I had this key fob that would just like, anytime I'm around my truck would unlock and lock and unlock, like the little fob was jacked up. So I'm like, dude, I need some help, bro. This is driving me insane, and it can't be good for the truck. And so he came out and just whipped that sucker together in a few minutes. So
look, Jordan, of course, thank you. Lone Star Party Rentals. I did find it, though.
There we go. Lone Star Party Rentals.
You can give them a call, 409-363-8175. And go and book your bounce house, party supplies, anything that you need to have a good time.
Yeah, man. So here's something, I know we talk about soil and supporting the environment and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And of course, y'all know it's my love, my passion.
Right.
Like, I've fought for this in a sense, because you know how many people, dude, would just pay instantly to kill the weeds?
Probably a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so I got to turn away stuff. Right, I gotta seem like a jerk sometimes, because well, you mean you won't kill the weeds? No, I'm not killing plants. I'm sorry. Your health and my health and our environmental health is more important than some weeds, for sure.
Yeah.
But on a flip side, on another note, so we're just talking about these guys, right? Jordan, Todd, Buster. Man, I've been supported by the local community for a long time. I've had a lot of people in my corner who were like, dude, AJ, obviously you're passionate about this. You're good at something. You can talk about it. I never cared about freaking soil until you came along. And so I just want to give a huge thank you to all the support, even when I'm thinking I don't know what to do. Man, can I keep going?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out my hair. And then I'll get these phone calls, and they're like, hey, AJ, man, I just wanted to let you know this thing turned out really, really well. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God, for that sign that I'm doing something right.
Do you ever get in that situation where it's almost like a surprise, man, it works, and it continues to work, and as long as you do the right thing, or the biology in the soil, it's working,
So the first 2 years, I knew what I knew conceptually, right? But of course, I'm always on want to be the best, and I want to have the best. I want to do the best. I want to not have a shadow of a doubt of what I'm doing. And that first 2 years, you get some ups and downs. You get weather. You get people scalping lawns. You get all kinds of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there was a lot of times is this working? Is this working? Is this working? And then some people that I knew was hey, XYZ, you did this to my lawn. It really worked. Or I'll get people who follow me on Facebook, okay?
Right.
This is my favorite. Like my boy Conrad Janke, man, I love you, dude. I sent you some stuff to your house. He's up in Conroe.
Yeah.
And he's been following me for 4 years now, right? He's like, I just follow all your advice. He sends me pictures, these aerial pictures of his lawn and these videos and stuff. I need to post more of what he sends me, because I'm telling you what, his lawn, it's a smaller lawn, so it's a little bit less expensive to just blow up his lawn with all the goods, right? But still, he's on it, just religiously almost. And watching him and getting his feedback really added to the confidence to I do know what I know.
Yeah.
And what I know works. It's about sticking to it. And so the thing of the expression of, oh, it turned cold and lawns look like junk for a minute. Hold on, people. Doesn't mean you stop the process. Just because you got a little tired and you're working out and you're like, oh, I don't see the results right now. Mm-hmm. Don't quit, right? It takes time. And the more that you do it, the more that you get conditioned. The more that you condition your soil, the more it's conditioned for these extremes. And so, yeah, there's been plenty of times where I'm like doubting myself and hating it. And now I'm like, nope, I don't care what happens. I'm sticking to it. This works. If it didn't work this time, well, then let's just not throw more stuff at it necessarily, but just continue with the process.
Yes.
Right?
Something else that Dr. Chapa says, and if you haven't had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Chapa, he comes on Tuesdays, and we talk about organic health, right? So whenever it comes to your body and I guess treating something, and you can relate it to this with the soil and your yard and the environment, it's like, what are you going to quit to? What are you going to quit to? Like, what are your options? It's like, hey, I'm having some issues with my body. I'm having some health things. Are you going to give up? Like, what are you going to quit to? Like, why not? Give it a shot. Are you going to let disease, or talking about your grass and your soil, are you going to let that stuff take over? Because you can. If you live in a homeowners association area, you're going to get a bunch of fines and stuff.
Or you're going to constantly be like racking your head about, what do my neighbors think of the lawn?
Right.
Right? Which I think is worse than the HOA letters sometimes. So I'm glad you said that, because what it makes me think of is the other kind of most common question that I get is, when's a good time to do this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I hear all the time? Well, my lawn hasn't looked good for 2 years, 3 years, 6 years. I'm like, so number one, when's a good time to start? It's always a good time to start supporting soil biology.
Mm-hmm.
I can do what I do all year long, and it's going to start improving your soil. And they're like, well, I just wanted to wait to this time and wait to that time. Why? You've already waited 3 years.
Yeah.
Or you tried XYZ. Like, why don't you try this for 3 years and see what happens versus trying all the other stuff that obviously just kept going backwards and backwards and backwards.
Yeah. One thing we talk about with the organic products is like your pets, your kids, in the grass, or just being able to go and play outside, or, hey, my dogs have a rash, I don't know why. It's like, that's what the alternative, you can continue with that. You can continue, all your choices have, effects and stuff. So it's just a matter of
they all
what
have
you choose.
Consequences,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes, check me out, consequences can be a really good thing, because sometimes that word has a negative connotation and it shouldn't always. But obviously, sometimes consequences are terrible.
Right.
Right? Because again, nothing in this entire world, especially not weeds, okay, is worth your health or your family's health or your pet's health.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all like, well, it's only my lawn. I don't want to have 300 million people in America saying it's only my lawn, okay, because that's a lot of people and a lot of impact.
Yeah, and especially, with Leak City and all the water and the drainage and all that stuff, and getting back, we live here on the coast. It goes straight out into the ocean or the bay or wherever.
Into the creek, into the little lakes where you take your kids to do their little fishing in your neighborhoods, right?
Then we eat it.
I would love it. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I've been having this thought percolating in my head, and it's like, I don't like the fact that we want to drink bottled water. Right? Like, we're a first world country, okay? We have technology, we got resources. A lot of people would want to argue, and I would too, okay? We live in the best country in the world, and we live in the best state, all right?
That's easy, that's for sure, right?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, water should be equal to air. Everyone has a right to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right to clean air. And I should have a right to clean water. And so, like, what are these things that we're doing that we're allowed to do that have a negative impact on the water? Like I think I want to be able to see everyone like, hey, oh, you need a glass of water? It wouldn't be weird to pour it out of your spigot. Here.
Yeah.
It's better than drinking it out of a puddle.
Right.
But what do we all have? Bottles. You want a bottle of water? I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. If it's the middle of summer, I'm sweating, I look like I don't know which direction I'm going, please hand me a bottle of water. I'll take it.
Give him a jug.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I just think about, like, clean water. There's a whole country out there that, like, their focus is on clean water everywhere you go. And the reason why I thought about this really yesterday was I was out taking my dog, it's a beautiful red husky, on a kayak on the creek. And I'm thinking, I don't much care about myself. Now I understand how other pet owners feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care about me. It's about my dog. And, I see him panting and everything. And the thing I'm thinking about most is like, what is the closest water source for him to drink water?
And you're in a kayak.
Yeah, I'm on a kayak. I launched at the park.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was at a Grippon Park, right on Bay Area, and so there is the dog park over there. So I walk over there. I make sure he gets some water, But like the availability, right? I just think it would be amazing if that was like kind of a thought, because being dehydrated can make you have some clouded thoughts too. Like, man, I got clean water to drink. Don't want to have to worry about going to the store to buy some bottled water.
Yeah.
Because also when I walk around, I pick up bottles all the time and throw them away. Take my dog on a walk, Sometimes I'll take a little bag and just go pick up all the bottles or whatever and go throw them away, because we all got bottled water, but you don't have anywhere where you can stop and just go drink at a fountain. It's crazy.
That's interesting. And then all those bottles will sometimes end up in like Clear Creek or some other place. I know I've seen y'all dig out some crazy stuff out of there
all the time, every day, right? And it's just something like, let's ask different questions to get different answers and better results.
Yes.
How could we make water quality truly better for everyone? So like, it's not weird that you drink out of the spigot. Oh, right. It's tap water. Yes, I have the finest tap water. Thank you.
Yeah. Choppa has. And I know I always bring up Choppa, but I talk to him a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I know he has like these filtration things on his house and all this different one. He would tell me which one that he has, but I mean, that's what he's all about. Like he doesn't want to drink out of plastic, drinking out of different things, but just from the tap.
Getting like your BPAs. Like, hey man, you won't know what your recommended BPAs is? None. 0. Right?
Man.
And then there's like chloramine in water. Oh my gosh, sometimes I think when people water their lawns, like they're like, oh, I did it at the wrong time of day or what have you. It ain't the wrong time of day. Do you know if like the city was trying to clean their water extra because something happened? And now that there's stuff in it, and it's slowly like not helping you achieve the goals that you think it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
One of my master arborist buddies, Eric Putnam with Eric Putnam BCMA, he told me about that. He's like, yeah, you think chlorine in water is a problem? It is. But really, chloramine is a way bigger problem. And that's like, who's heard of that?
I had never heard of it.
Yeah.
At first, my brain went back and told me that you said chlorine.
Right, because it sounds similar. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, as much as I want to improve soil and everything, like, how can we even ask more questions, different questions, to get better answers? Because it's not about giving everyone free bottles of water. That would be terrible. That's a freaking nightmare of more trash, right? But how can I make good water available, right?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Right now I'm talking to AJ with Hippie Fertilizing about all kinds of things that go on in the world. And I know it'll bring some value to your life. Again, feel free to share this out. AJ comes in on Mondays, and we always have a good time. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we haven't touched on today?
You guys out there who have a lawn service, try not to get too mad at your lawn care people, okay? It rained for a week. You didn't want them out there tearing up your lawn, so if they're a little bit backed up, take it easy on them. I used to be a lawn care guy, okay? I'm like, so, and if you see those guys out there, we love it, honestly, because there's lots of customers who will, like, have baskets out in front of their doors, like, here's a snack or here's some water. That's so freaking appreciated. It really is. So don't get mad at your lawn care guys. And hey, we're all dealing with the same weather. So if you do get some ruts in your lawn, like, it's a part of the game. All right. Sometimes don't stress out about it. You're going to have problems and you got to fix them. That's it.
Mine went for 2 weeks. And man, it was so tall, but I understood. I was like, well, they couldn't come, and it was just the weather. I mean, well, I don't want them to mow it when it's like soaking wet, because it's gonna tear it up. But that is good to have patience with people, and communication's key in any business. But sometimes there's a lot of stuff that happens, when you're in business. So being understanding is very, very important.
Yeah,
putting yourself in the other person's situation. Can you remind everybody about the Hippie Juice, how they can get it, what it does, before we sew up the show today?
Oh, so you can get Hippie Juice on hippiefertilizing.com. Click the Buy Here tab, scroll down, you will see the Hippie Juice quarts. All right, they are $34.95, and they will make your grass thrive.
And something else, if you are listening to this on KHEAradio.com or 99.5 FM, we stream this on Facebook, and this lives on Facebook for forever, this video. So you'll be able to go back and actually watch AJ drink some hippie juice.
Yeah, and also don't forget the Super Soil Conditioner. You can also pre-order that. It lands the first week of August, all right? The best stuff you're ever going to friggin' put in your soil that's in a bag.
That's awesome.
So it's also on the buy. Click the buy here tab, scroll down, Super Soil Conditioner. Get your pre-orders in, because I tell you what, nobody knows grass like a hippie make it grow so good it's kind of trippy.
It's KGA Radio, 99.5 FM.